And Thailand's King Bhumibol Adulyadej has died at the age of 88. He was the world's longest reigning monarch, spending 70 years on the throne. These are live pictures from Bangkok of the mourners who had held a vigil outside of the hospital for the past few days. The Thai Prime Minister has declared a 30-day period of mourning. Well, Tony Cheng is in Bangkok for us now live, and we can join him. Tony, so just lay out for us exactly how important the King was to the people of Thailand.
Hugely important. Over the course of that 70-year reign, King Bhumibol went from being a young man, aged 18, who was forced onto the throne after the mysterious death of his brother, at a time when there was huge insecurity here in Thailand, and particularly for the royal family, which had just lost its absolute powers, had been forced by a military coup to become a constitutional monarchy. I think many people thought at that stage the monarchy was in its fading years. But King Bhumibol managed to survive. He managed to bring a certain unity to Thailand. He steered it through the very difficult years of the 60s and 70s, when Thailand faced many external and internal threats, particularly during the turmoil here in Southeast Asia, where we saw the Vietnam War, civil wars in Myanmar, in Cambodia and Laos. All of that he managed to steer a course, and I think people see him very much as a stabilizing figure here. He was also able to bring together warring political sides within Thailand, most notably in the 1970s and 1990s, when he opened the gates of the palace for student protesters to find sanctuary. But in recent years, in part due to ill health, he was unable to exert that influence. Over the past decade, we've seen Thailand's political situation unravel once again. But I think it will be a huge shock for most Thais. This is the only king that they've known. He does occupy a very significant place in their society. And in part, again, because of the fact that they aren't able to openly discuss the role of the monarchy, I think people are very unsure about what the future will bring. So it is uncertain times, and I think we're going to see a huge outpouring of grief, not just here in Bangkok, but all across Thailand.
We certainly will.
In the days, weeks and months to come.
Absolutely, Tony. And it's worth reminding our viewers, of course, I believe it's Tuesday when people in Thailand wear yellow golden shirts in reverence of the King. Of course, that will be a tradition that continues. But the politics of it were interesting. A few years ago, there were the red shirts and the yellow shirts. So although he was a monarch, he was seen as a political figure as well, wasn't he?
Well, he was, but I think he had been seen, and again, for many Thais, as a stabilizing figure that could bring together both the people of Thailand, but also those of the establishment at the top, and probably most notably the military, and particularly in the 1990s when he was able to bring together both civil society, but also the generals who'd been behind several military coups. He was able to break down some of the barriers that the politicians themselves were not able to do. That, however, stopped when Thaksin Shinawatra, the sort of rather flashy, very populist prime minister, came to power in early 2000. He was known to have had certain personal conflicts with the king, although it was always behind closed doors. And I think the king was very careful to make sure that these never exploded onto a public stage. But there was known to be a certain animosity between the two. And then we saw the coup of 2006, the red shirt demonstrations of 2010, and it coincided with the king's stepping back from public life as clearly age and ill health started to take its toll. Frankly, over the last couple of years, he was very rarely seen in public, and when he was looking very poorly. So I don't think he had the energy or the ability or even the will to exert the kind of power that I think most people wanted to see him exert, which was to bring together the battling sides of that political divide.
OK, Tony Cheng, on a sad day for Thailand. Thank you for now from Bangkok.